Hi, Jamie Cohen with Cohen and Brosh Law Office. I'd like today to talk to you about the E-2 visa. The E-2 is a special visa for investment into business in the United States. In other words, let's say you want to go to the United States and work, and one of the easiest ways is through the E-2 investment visa. Basically, the idea is that you are investing approximately $100,000 or more into a U.S. company. You can either open the company yourself, or you could buy into an existing company as long as you hold at least a 50% ownership into the U.S. company. This gives you the option of being able to move to the United States temporarily with your family and being able to work in this particular company. Now, the E-2 is kind of a unique visa among all the U.S. visas that exist because it's primarily petitioned through the local U.S. embassies worldwide, and it's not available to citizens of all countries. For instance, citizens of Russia are not available to petition for an E-2 visa, but citizens of most of the European countries, Israel, Morocco, others are eligible and can take advantage of being able to move to the United States to work there. So what are the parameters? I mean, how do you actually do this whole process? Well, first you have to either create a U.S. company, either an LLC or a corporation, and become at least a 50% owner of this particular company, or you buy into an existing company and you own at least 50% share. The company has to be commercial. So, in other words, embassies frown upon like real estate investments and things like that. But if the business is like a restaurant or a fitness center or even some types of consulting firms, engineering firms, stores that sell products, even online stores can actually work through the E-2 investment process. I mean, basically, as I said, you either open up a company or you purchase a company, and then you create or open a U.S. bank account in the name of that company, and you're going to transfer at least $100,000 or more into this business account of this particular company. And then usually the embassies require that the business already shows some type of operation. So in other words, a portion of that investment needs to be spent. So for instance, let's say you're you've opened a restaurant, and so you to show that the business is in operation, you need to either purchase the restaurant or lease property for the opening of a restaurant, and then purchase equipment and supplies for that restaurant and so on. So this is a way of showing that the business is at least operating before you can apply for the E-2 visa. I mean, it is a little bit tricky because obviously you can't be working over in the United States until you have this particular visa, so it can be a little bit tricky getting things started, but you can certainly hire people to get it started or have somebody start it for you and so on. In addition, you have to be able to provide a business plan that accompanies the application for this visa. This business plan is usually a 5-year financial projection that basically is showing how you are going to be able to operate this business. Now, if you're purchasing a business, then you can show the track record of that existing business and be able to prove its sustainability and base a 5-year projections on the accounts and the spending patterns of the current business. But if it's a new business, if you've started something brand new, then you do have to show some kind of projection out for several years. You have to show how you're going to market your services, how you're going to expand your services, how you're basically going to grow as a company. And so that has to accompany the application for the E-2 visa. And then one of the most important features of the E-2 application is you must be able to show that you're going to be hiring U.S. employees. Again, if you're buying into a business that already has U.S. employees, that's of course a great advantage. But if it's a brand new business, the goal is really, if it's at all possible, to be able to hire 1 or 2 employees from the get-go, even before you file the application. But if that's not possible because business hasn't become profitable enough to be able to hire employees, at least to be able to show that it's clear that when you move to the United States with the E-2 visa, you're going to be hiring 1 or 2 employees in the first year of operation. And again, this is primarily going to be shown through the business plan. So these are the essentials of the E-2 process. Now, the E-2 visa will range in length depending upon which country you're talking about, because the E-2 visa process is based upon treaties between the United States and another country. So for instance, the United States has an E-2 treaty with Romania. So a Romanian citizen will be given a 5-year E-2 visa to the United States. On the other hand, the United States has an E-2 visa with Israel, but it's only given for 2 years with respect to Israeli citizens. Now, that doesn't mean that at the end of 2 years or 5 years, as the case may be, that you have to close up your business. No, you can always renew your visa as long as you can show that the business is sustainable, is operating, has hired U.S. employees. Then the reapplication process, or the renewal of the visa, is usually pretty straightforward. So these are the approaches to be able to get the E-2. Now, unlike a few other work visas to the United States, the E-2 is not easily transferable to a green card like permanent residence. It can be done, but it's not as easy as some other work visas in the U.S., so you just have to be aware of that. But a big advantage of the E-2, unlike other work visas to the United States, is that the spouse of the investor also gets an E-2 and can work in the United States. But unlike the investor, they can work anywhere. So the investor is limited to the company in which that person invests. But the spouse of the investor can work in anywhere in the United States. So they're given that great option. Children are also given E-2 visas but are not allowed to work and are able to stay on the E-2 program until the age of 21. So look, if you're interested in knowing more about the E-2 visa, I would strongly recommend that you reach out to our office through our website below. This can explain all the details we can explain all the details of the E-2 process. It is quite complex, even though maybe I've hopefully made it somewhat simple for you. But I hope you take advantage of this really excellent visa program. Thank you.